Hello, everybody. This is Luke.
And I'm Elijah. And we are the Eagles of Steel.
So today, we're gonna be talking about teams who just missed the playoffs and like in the hunt, and then teams who were eliminated in the wild card round.
Yeah. So this is gonna be interesting. We're pretty much the 12 teams we will be talking about are in this particular order: Chargers, Bengals, Seahawks, Cardinals, Buccaneers, Broncos, Steelers, Packers, Dolphins, Colts, Falcons, and Vikings.
I know it's all. We'll let you know what teams that were just missed it and were in the wild card got eliminated.
Yeah. Well, you guys should know, hopefully, but
and it's a little out of order, but I came up with this order. So,
but anyway, so let's start off with the first team that we want to talk about is the L.A. Chargers.
Choke artist.
Idiots! Oh, that's not very nice. It's just a donkey.
But the thing is, all in all, their season wasn't even that bad. Like they literally went from 5-12 to 11-6.
That's amazing. First year coach Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, he changed the team around. It's just when it mattered the most, they lose 30-12.
Master of all four elements could stop them, but when the world needed him most, he vanished.
And your quarterback throws 4 picks.
I think one thing that definitely hurt him this year was the lack of roster depth, for sure.
Well, they barely put anything into their team.
Well, they had like one great rookie, and Ladd McConkey. He popped off.
But other than that,
and then they had some J.K. Dobbins and stuff. They had Joe Alt they picked up. So they picked up guys, but there wasn't any depth behind them. They didn't really because once they got injured, they just kind of skunked. So when you're a team that gets destroyed and has an injury prone, it's good to have good backups that are ready to step up.
By the way, season overall for this team, what they had, I'll give them an A because they really changed it around.
I give them an A-. I think they could have definitely, won their game against the Houston Texans. And I feel like the Texans should have been here, but it's the fact that the Texans did win made me kind of Chargers just chargered it. So I'm going to give them a little minus and stuff.
Anyways, now, the Cincinnati Bengals. I feel bad for them, honestly. They should have made it.
As a Steelers fan, I wanted them to get there so bad because I feel like if there was going to be any good game in that wild card round other than the Commanders Buccaneers, it would have been a Bengals-Bills game. So, unfortunately, that didn't happen. But here's the reason why I think they pretty much had the same record as last year. Slow starts.
No, I don't really feel like it.
They literally lost to the New England crappy Patriots in week 1. How do you lose to the Patriots, who this year I'm pretty sure went either 4-13 or 3-14?
I think 4-13. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's one of the two. They so bad, yet they lost to them.
Since they had back-to-back seasons. Oh, also their defense wasn't the greatest either.
I know their defense was so bad this year. I think they were number 31 and
they were one of the worst
points per game allowed or something. It was ridiculous.
I give them a B-. So they say the same, but they could have potential to be a playoff team.
Yeah. The only good thing they have going for them, and the reason why I didn't give them a full-on failing grade, is because they have a good quarterback and a wide receiver called Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Outside of that, I would have given them pretty much a D. So I'm giving them a C-.
You what?
Because I know they can do better. I know they can do better. They had the talent. They had the number 1 guy in passing yards. They had the number 1 guy in receiving yards. They had the number 1 guy in so many categories on offense. But their defense is so low, so bad, it ruined them.
The Seattle Seahawks.
And
iffy season, I say, for them.
I'd say talk about mediocre.
What? What are you talking about?
I say their defense was solid, but their offense struggled.
Which is interesting because Geno Smith had a lot of yards passing, but he didn't have a lot of scoring.
Turnovers were an issue.
Yeah, he's very turnover prone. They're very much the same as last year. They went from 9-8 to 10-7. It was a slight upgrade, but it was really the same result. They got a winning record and then didn't make the playoffs. Sounds like another team.
I give them C+. I gave them a C+ on this one.
For me, I actually decided to give a little bit generous with it just because it was a new coach, and he's still trying to develop his team. So I gave him a B because I know, and plus they did technically improve their record. But the fact they almost lost to the Bears, though, was almost a crime.
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
Oh yeah, that 6-3 game. I hated that last stream.
Dude,
By the
it was so bad. Anyway,
Arizona, the Cardinals.
okay. Now, if you want to talk about a team that sure didn't make the playoffs, but we made a lot of upgrades.
4-13 to 8-9.
Yeah, they upgraded a lot this season.
I'm not as strong as you.
No. You're stronger.
Defense improved drastically, and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Jr. was a big existence. And then Trey McBride. What a season for him
I think he was the second highest scored tight end.
in the league. It was insane how good he was. Now, Kyler Murray,
It was a roller coaster ride for the Arizona
yeah, I
Cardinals.
wish he would have done better like in the second half of the season because they could have won the division knowing how that division was.
Literally, it was like this for them.
It went like, and then, and then,
That makes sense to me.
at the end.
Yeah,
They crash at the end. But still, though, at the end, it's still, they need more development. Like, that's the only thing I would say. But I'm giving them an A- for this season.
I give him a B+.
Yeah, like, I like this how the season was, and I think next year, I know their division's gonna be tough because they got the Rams in it, but they also got the Niners who are gonna get healthy next season.
Watch out for that division.
That division's gonna get stacked. Like there's gonna be a lot of.
Hopefully, because last time we said this, they absolutely sucked.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
Well, as long as there's no injuries, we should be right.
Well, this one's gonna be interesting when they're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay.
Well, here's a reason why they lost their playoff game.
the
Mayfield.
The fumble. The fumble.
Yeah, the fumble. Like, literally choked their season away with one fumble, and it gave the Commanders the momentum, and they won the game. And also, here's something that made their season struggle, because they did upgrade technically. They went from a 9-8 to a 10-7 team.
But they didn't have Chris Godwin most of the season.
And that's exactly what I was going to get into. The Chris Godwin not being there, losing Mike Evans for like 4 or 5 weeks.
Kind of killed their season.
Yeah, it really did, because they started 4-2, and then at one point they were 4-6. They lost 4 straight games. And then
That was what
they went, after they got like Mike Evans back, after the bye week, they
started
literally went
straight on
like 7-1 after the bye week.
They 6-1, but yeah.
No, they were 5-6. Sorry, 4-6.
Yeah, 6
Going into the bye week.
6.
So no, they had yeah.
Yeah, I was
Never mind. Never mind. I was thinking 11-6. Sorry, I was throwing my mind off. So yeah,
Anyways,
you're right.
Like I said, I gave him a B- for this one. Like I gave him like average.
Yeah, I gave him a B. I think their season could have definitely been better, especially if they had a healthy roster. But it was fine.
Next up, the Denver Broncos.
Now, this team coming into this year had 0 expectations of anything.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
Nobody believed in Bo Nix from the start of the time.
Believe.
Yeah. And they decided to go from an 8-9 record with a Russell Wilson to a 10-7 record and made the playoffs as a 7th seed
With a rookie QB.
and got obliterated by the Bills.
Well, that's what I said. Welcome to the playoffs, Bo Nix.
Yep.
AKA Josh Allen.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting him to win that game at all. And
No.
I did not expect it to be a massacre the way it was, but it was still... But the thing is, the fact they had no expectations and the fact they had a rookie QB and they played this good for the most part of the season.
And their defense lighted it up as well.
They only got blown out once outside of the Bills game, which was the Ravens game. And the Ravens, were really good.
You don't say.
Outside of that, they kept every game one score, like with all their losses, and they won the games they needed to win. It was a really good season for them. So I'm giving them an A- because I really liked what I saw.
I saw a B+ for them. Like they definitely have at least 1 or 2 more wins in them. Division opponent. Anyway, well, I think it's time we know who to do next.
Can I just put my head up for this?
It's the Steelers. And back-to-back 10-7. And here's where I say they played the just over 500 record card.
Yep, that's me.
Didn't even try the playoffs. I'm sorry, man. I had to say it. And you know it, too.
I'm just going to read my bullet points the way I wrote them out. Just because it's literally just sums it up perfectly. Same old Steelers, fire Mike Tomlin, and can progress, just mediocre.
That's when they just played the just over 500 record card.
Yeah, we are literally like one of the most annoying teams in the league. We have the talent. We have the ability to be good, yet we are never good. This jacket hurts me.
So much pain!
Sometimes.
I gave you guys a C.
I gave myself a D, man. Like I personally thought we failed this season because I was like, especially after being 10-3 at one point, I was expecting us to be able to have a fight for the 1 seed.
And
Like all this hope, they ran to the Philadelphia Eagles.
We could have ruled the world together, Gru. But now, you're gonna die.
You ran to us and you played our collapse card, pretty much.
Yes. So yeah, it was just awful.
The Green Bay Packers. They didn't do too bad. Pretty good improvement. 9-8 to 11-6.
Yeah, they definitely improved.
as a 7 seed.
They were still stuck as a 7 seed, which is funny. But the thing about this is they had a much improved defense than the guy they had last year. They had some great pickups and guys like Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney, and
Here's the problem.
really upgraded.
They came into Philly banged up.
Yeah, they lost Christian Watson going into that game.
And then they lost a bunch of other things. And Jordan Love looked terrible because of all the injuries in that offense.
And also, he was interception prone for most of the season. And going into that game, he was on a streak of not throwing one. And then he ran into the Philadelphia Eagles defense. So, and if you want, like, on a note, they were 1-5 against playoff teams.
We aren't done yet. You are on the fraud watch.
This season.
Yeah, and I think that sums that up.
Yeah, I don't even remember the only playoff team they beat. I think it was the Texans. So, like, outside of that, they went, like, 0-5, like, as including being swept by both Minnesota and Detroit. And even and the other one loss was to the dang
Chicago Bears at the end of the
Bears
season.
and the Eagles at the beginning week 1, which they lost the Eagles twice, which is funny. But yeah, like, just in the end, I'm giving them a B-. Like, I know, like, they improved, and that was, like, from record to record, but the way they ended their season was just not.
I give them a little more generously. As an Eagle fan, I feel a little bad, but
All right, so what do you give them then?
A minus.
Wow, you're right. You really are.
I was like, I gave them a little generous.
I'm too harsh.
You're a monster!
Next one, the Miami Dolphins.
Again, I think I'm just going to read out my dots because this is
Pretty much
also sums it up. Tua concussion, number 3. Tyreek Hill leaving? ? And choked throughout the season.
Correct!
Yeah, that's what I had. Iffy season for them entirely.
Yeah, they went from 11-6
To
and who was fighting at that time to be the 2 seed to an 8-9 record, missed the playoffs entirely. Ouch.
I gave them a D.
Yeah. Tua, I think he should retire at this point. He's about to, like, hurt himself really bad.
Or maybe get himself killed.
Yeah, I know. Tyreek Hill is pretty much leaving. I don't know what team he's going to go to, but we'll see.
Hey, we'll take him. No, hey,
Please. We need a receiver, please.
speed. You need speed. I am speed.
Anyway, but yeah, we like seriously a receiver. But anyway, yeah, I give the Dolphins a C+, just because they did kind of end their season off a little stronger than the start, just because Tua came back and he did play okay. But outside of that, they're like whatever for me. C+.
Like I said, I gave them a D because they fell off drastically.
Yeah, I was actually being gracious on them. Now, anyway, talk about a team that is just as mediocre as Pittsburgh.
Indianapolis Colts.
You're just like me. Trash!
They were similarity with the Dolphins. They were like iffy.
And again, I want to just read up my bullet points because it just sums it up their entire season so easily. Anthony Richardson fraud, awful defense, and very mediocre.
Yeah, pretty much sums up their season.
Yeah, they're just like they cannot be consistent.
They even lost to the Giants week 18.
You're about to have a bad day. It's clobbering time.
I know, but the thing is, they had Joe Flacco that game. But even if they had Richardson, they're still going to lose. But just because they're that bad. The fact they gave up 40 points to the Giants.
45 to be exact.
I know. Oh, dude. How do you do that?
C minus. I rated.
I actually gave the same one. C minus. I gave them the same grade.
They weren't that great.
Yeah, they were trash. So.
Oh, talk about a team that just missed the playoffs and was a choke throughout the season. The Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, so.
And
I wasn't going to be too harsh on them because Cousins is washed.
That was terrible.
And they had him for most of the season. Once Penix went in there, I felt like they actually could have contended. Like he looks good. He is a very legit QB, and I'm excited to see what he does next year.
Year 2.
He does need development, obviously. There's some players that need development. But I see a highlight of their season is Mr. Bijan Robinson, all right.
Hail to the king, baby.
He is a highlight for their team consistently. Guys like Drake London, when he's healthy, is really good. They got a really good receiving core for the most part.
They just need a good QB.
And I just think Penix. I think Penix will be able to maybe actually win the division next year,
possibly.
Like if their defense can not give up like all the passing yards in the world.
They went from 7-10 to 8-9.
They did slightly improve too. But I wish they could have they could have won the division at the end, but they really took the last.
But I gave them a C+.
I gave them a B-. I wanted to be a little generous with them just because I wanted to give Penix the benefit of the doubt here because Cousins kind of tarnished it.
Now, if you want to talk about a team that improved the most, the Minnesota friggin' Vikings,
who went from 7-10 to 14-3,
doubled their record,
but choked in the wild card.
You took my one chance at happiness and crushed it. Crushed it into little tiny bite-sized pieces.
But that doesn't mean anything, though. Their season in general was amazing.
The season was really good. Sam Darnold looked great. They played, and the thing is, they played in the best division in football.
But I got the 5 seed.
And
which is shocking.
Because the Lions were
15-2.
Ridiculous. And then I see, like I said, they choked when it mattered.
That's what I put up here. Choked the 1 seed and in round 1, like they always do.
Yep. And they allowed 9 sacks on Darnold. My poor Darnold.
My back. Oh, my back.
I take him an A+ for this one because their season improvement, big time.
Yeah, I gave him an A+ as well, but what happened, man? They lost to the same 2 teams in the same order twice.
Coincidence? I think not.
Man, I feel bad.
Like, what is this? But whatever.
But they did lose to New York 2 years ago when they had their other good season.
I know, but they went like 13-4 that year, so it was like, whatever.
Vikings fans, whenever you have a good season, just wait till the playoffs.
And you're like,
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
but yeah, here we have it. Like, that's what we were wanted to discuss with you guys today. Please put in the comments below what you guys think about these teams. And also, if you're a fan of these teams, like, please also put down if you think you're going to get better next season, if you think you're going to go worse, if you think you're going to stay the same, like, just let us know.
Hopefully to draft some people, like, really
some good players. But also, next week, we'll be talking about the teams that completely just, went off the rails and missed.
Yeah, we're going to have
Giants. And we're going to grade them the same way we graded these guys.
We're going to have fun with that one.
Yeah. So, also keep an eye on our live streams. We're going to be live streaming a lot of these games. I'm going to be live streaming solo for the Commanders Lions
because I have
because you have
family
plans. So, be ready for that. Hopefully, it's a really good game. I'm not playing Madden by halftime, but we'll see.
Please, no.
But anyway,
this is Luke.
And this is Elijah. And we are the Eagles of Steel. Bye.